I read 14 dark and paranormal romance books in 14 days for Valentine's Day. Today we're going to talk about Sweet Inferno. This book is listed under both Elliot Rose and Elliot Rose, and I'm not sure which name the author is currently going by. Just know that you can find the book under either of those names. This is a paranormal romance novella that serves as the introduction to the Nocturnal Heart series. It features a fire witch with telepathic powers named Leah and a wolf shifter named Fern, who is both a spy and a thief. Leah works for the House of Elharion, which is basically a big magic house with a lot of really powerful mages. She is a servant. Her job is basically to tend to the flames. So she lights torches and wall sconces and keeps all of the fires in the hearths burning so that the castle can stay warm. Fern is a member of an opposing rebel faction, and basically his intent is to break into the castle and steal the seal of Elharion, and he intends to use Leah to do that. Obviously, in the negotiation of all of this, Fern and Leah fall in love, and that really gets in the way of his plans. I'd like to talk about some of the things that I liked in this book and some of the things that I think could have been done a little better. But before I do, if you would please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out tremendously. It makes sure that my videos don't get lost in the screaming void that is the YouTube algorithm. So if you've already taken the time to do that, thank you so much. All right, let's get back to the book. So one of the things that I really liked about Sweet Inferno was the way that Leah's fire magic is described. It is an innate part of her. It's not something she summons. It is a part of who she is. It's described as sort of rolling within her. It lights her skin. It warms her skin. Her whole body is warm. She's warm all the time. You can see it sort of moving over her. You can see it in her eyes. She sort of like pulls it to her fingertips and then blows it off, just like basically like she's blowing dust off of the ends of her fingers. And the description of the fire magic was very visual and very beautiful. And it was very evocative the way that it was described. I could see it in my mind as I was reading, so I really enjoyed that. I also really liked that the main character, Leah, was a woman in her 30s. She's not some, like, blushing, barely legal virgin girl. She knows what she likes. She's very comfortable in her curvy body. She revels in her sensuality. And I really liked that. I thought that it was really refreshing. There was none of the, like, weird, awkward insecurities. There was none of the coming of age stuff. She's a fully grown woman. She knows what she wants. She knows what she likes, and she's not afraid to take it. Combine that with Leah's fiery personality, and it all is very empowering. I genuinely like this character in a way that I don't always in romance books. However, just because I liked the character and I liked the magic doesn't mean I liked everything about it. So let's talk about some of the things I think could have been done a little better. I believe that this is the author's debut, and with that territory sort of comes, you know, a little bit of stiff or a little bit of awkward dialogue, a little bit of awkward prose. Things get clunky every now and then. It didn't majorly detract from my enjoyment of the story. I was certainly able to get into the characters and into what they were doing and why they were doing it. But if that sort of thing really bothers you, it's just something to be aware of. Another thing that didn't really work for me was the villain. Rigor was, I think that what the author was going for was an absolute power corrupts absolutely sort of situation, but I feel like it fell a little short of that. It wasn't fleshed out enough, so he wound up coming across as sort of this like old school cartoony mustache twirling villain, and it just didn't work for me. Yeah, he was dangerous and threatening, but he was only dangerous and threatening because she told us that he was dangerous and threatening, not because he actually felt dangerous and threatening. The whole time we get the distinct impression that Leah is significantly more powerful than she realizes, so she never really feels like she's in any danger. And some of that could be attributed to the fact that this was a novella. It could just be that there wasn't time or space to develop the characters fully, including the villain. But if that's the case, then that's a failing of the format. Which brings me to my next point. This book was far too short for what it was trying to do. There was nowhere near enough build-up for the sort of emotional investment that the two main characters were making in each other. They literally go from her, like, threatening her life if she doesn't help him, to she's writhing on his face and his wolf is claiming her as his mate or claiming her as his own within like 2 pages. That sort of insta-love just doesn't work for me, in particular in an adult story. So I feel like leaving this as short as it was, leaving it as a novella, really did the story disservice because it made the love story not believable, which is really a shame because it was a sweet little story with interesting characters. And I feel like it had something and it slipped through the author's fingers because they kept the story so short, because it felt like it was rushed. Overall, I feel like the characters and story concept were interesting, but the author was in too much of a hurry. If it had been slowed down, if it had been extended and expanded, I feel like it would have been a lot more believable. If the romance had been allowed to develop at a more natural pace, I just feel like it would have worked a lot better. This needed to be a full-length novel, not a novella. That being said, the world building was cool, the characters are interesting. If you're looking for a quick read and you want something that just has like neat magic and shifters to read in an afternoon, this might be what you're looking for. Anyway, that's all I've got on this one. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Head on over to the Discord if you want to talk to me about books or writing or pretty much anything else. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.